You come the same distance forward, or are we good?
Yeah. Are we good?
Oh, what a handsome. Oh, now we look good. Now.
Fantastic.
Great, welcome. We're here from Phoenix, Arizona. We've got Dolf, Brendan, myself, Scott, and Neil. We're pretty excited, ladies and gentlemen. We're here on the ground in America. We all know that there's great opportunities in America. There's also great risk. But the way that you get over great risk is the right partners and the right information. And that's why the four of us, well, the three of us actually, have got on an airplane, flown all the way over here. And I'm very privileged to be with one of the world's leading experts in property, Dolf, who's actually very kindly taken time out to show us around in terms of where we are. But guys, what are your thoughts? You know, what have you thought? What have you seen? What are your experience, like you said, with regards to the research?
I mean, we came over here to do a lot of the research for clients so that we could figure out if there is opportunity here in the States and how to go about taking advantage of the opportunities that are here. And we just found that there's so much information, so much to do. We've been through, I think, 3 cities in the last 4 or 5 days. We've got another 2 cities to go to, and there's just so much.
8 cities in 11 days.
8 cities in 11 days, to put it in
crazy.
perspective. It is a little bit crazy, but we need to get that information and then be able to do that research for our clients. But what we found is it's just too much. Scott, maybe you should elaborate on that.
Well, look, you see, for me, the most important thing is that 80% of South Africans that invest overseas actually lose money. And there's 2 primary reasons for that. Firstly, they've got the wrong information, and secondly, they've got the wrong partners. Now, a classic example of that is that Neil, myself, and Brendan jumped in a car yesterday and tried to go and look at 3 properties, and very quickly realized we were completely wasting our time. We didn't know where we were, we didn't know what the rental was, we didn't know where the schools were. So basically, even though we had the right partners, at the moment, at that specific, Dolf was looking after his daughter, so we went out. So without the right partners and without the right information, we were headless chickens. So yes, there is opportunity here, but we would have just made mistake after mistake. So to answer your question, what we basically thought was a fantastic idea would be to learn from one of the world's leading experts. You know, not only is the man talking about it, but he's actively taking action in this market. You could come over here, you could jump on a bus, you could spend time with an expert, you could meet his team, and you could literally go around and experience what it is to actually invest in the market here. I mean, Dolf, tell us just a little bit about that from your side, you know?
Well, I fully agree. I see a lot of people, they buy over the internet, and there's nothing wrong with that. The internet is the way of the future. I buy a lot of the things I normally used to buy in stores over the internet. Now it's faster, there's no sales tax here, shipping's usually free. I don't have to go and go out to the stores, basically. But buying real estate over the internet, it is so easy to lead yourself to believe something that turns out not to be true. Scott is absolutely right. You have to know what school district are you in, how far is it to the shopping centres, because they're all things that are going to affect the price and the rentability if you want to rent it out, and the resale value if ultimately you want to sell. So the only way really of doing that, unless you've got agents on the ground whom you know you can trust implicitly because they've never set you wrong, it's just good to come over and find out for yourself. So we run stats on these things, and we find that our students who come over here have a success rate that is way higher than those who just leave it to fate or say, I can't be bothered, or it's too expensive. The cost of coming over here on a trip like that, you'll reap many times over in terms of the better deals that you'll find. So I applaud what you're doing, and it might sound as though the self-interest is not. I love this game. You know, whenever you decide what you want to do in life, you've got to ask yourself, what would you do if you had to do it 7 days a week and weren't even paid for it? I would look at real estate. I love real estate. So, you know, this is my passion. So I think it's a great idea to come over here and find out what it is that you're investing in, because chances are, if you do it right, it's going to fund your retirement, and you'll be able to retire decades earlier than you would have anyway. So why not put a bit of time and effort into it? People in general, I think South Africa is probably the same. Guys, this applies to. Guys spend more time choosing which car they're going to drive for the next 2 years, even though that car goes down in value to almost zero in that time and they get rid of it. They spend more time choosing which car to drive than choosing which real estate assets they're going to acquire that are going to fund them for the rest of their lives. It's bizarre. You should take 5 minutes to choose a car and spend 13 weeks finding real estate.
But on that basis, and I mean, we've had a lot of fun already, but you know, it's not all about work.
Right,
it is about wealth, because you're leading with one of the world's wealth experts. I mean, you've been in numerous things, and we'll put it all down below in terms of what you've done. But the whole psychology of wealth, and I mean, just hanging around you, it rubs off the energy and everything else, which I think is classic. But there's another part to it. It's also fun. So for us, we're not just doing the property part. We're going to chuck in New York. There's going to be Las Vegas. There's going to be Grand Canyon. We're going to call it the Big Five: New York, Las Vegas, Grand Canyon, Dr. Dolf de Roos, and a bit of property on the side.
It's going to be an incredible experience, and we're so excited, and we can't wait to actually get some people out here to experience it on the ground and see what kind of opportunities are here in the States, in Phoenix.
And I think, sorry, just one last thing. We have made another video where Neil, who's the editor and owner of Real Estate Investor magazine, has interviewed Dolf in terms of the whole market dynamics. So we're not going to go back into all of that, but just one thing I think is very important. Some people will just be saying, why Phoenix? You know, I don't have time to watch the other video, whatever it is. Why Phoenix, basically?
Why Phoenix? It is the #1 city in this country in terms of both capital growth and real estate value, prices increases and population growth. If you're going to invest, this is the safest place to invest with a good chance of the values going up. That's the short answer. There are many other nuances. There are reasons why it's so good. I mean, the sunny blue sky you see today, we have about 360 days like this a year. Now, ironically, when the guys came, it did rain, but how long did it rain for?
Oh, just 20 minutes.
You know, just
Apparently it was the first rain in months.
Yeah, first rain in months. And it's like this all the time. A great pool of people working. Everyone wants to live here. And we have over 200 golf courses here. We have over 200 spa resorts here. It's the 5th largest city in the country, and it's growing the fastest. It'll be #4 before long, and then #3. It's just a delightful place to be. I live here by choice. I can live just about anywhere in the world. And you know, other people are seeing the same thing. So yeah, there will always be growth here, more so than in other lesser cities.
I think also this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It's not every day that you do get the opportunity to meet with a guru, an international investor, of the likes of Dolf, to meet his team and to learn from them and glean from them, and then more importantly to invest and see where those best opportunities are. So I ask you to open up. I mean, we've got the South African team on the ground, we've got Brendan, we've got Scott. I mean, they're extremely passionate guys. We've also had a lot of fun, guys. And with Dolf, it's been fantastic.
Well, Scott hit on it. He talked about having fun. My theory is if you can't put your head down on your pillow at night and say, wow, today was fun, then you did something wrong, and change what you're doing. It's got to be fun. Otherwise, the whole thing is pointless. Let's not forget, in 100 years' time, for all of us here and those of us watching, it's probably not going to matter much anyway. So have fun while we can.
But take advantage of what's one of the greatest wealth transfers of our lifetime.
Absolutely.
You know, like they always say, I love that Chinese saying, in amongst chaos there's opportunity.
Right.
There's chaos on the ground here, there's blood in the streets, the market is improving, and it's not going to last forever.
And we're on the cusp of the graph where it's starting to show signs of revival, and that's what's so exciting is that is it's hit that bottom, like you mentioned in the other video. You know, it's so exciting to be here and to see that this buyer's market is so incredible.
Right.
Real estate is back, guys, so I think you've got to get in and you've got to make a decision to get involved with this particular expedition very, very quickly.
But sorry, just finally, there's one last thing, but there's one thing that's very important. It's not just about America as well. Because if you had all your assets based in American property in 2007, you'd be feeling like a bit of a fool right now. So if you're in South Africa, you've got all your assets in South Africa, it's nothing about South Africa. It's not being unpatriotic. I mean, you've got Americans and Australians and everything investing here. As South Africans, you've got to be a wise, sophisticated investor. You've got to come and look at other markets, but particularly first world assets, first world income. You know, great assets. You said how great it is to invest in America, and think about the advantage. You know, we always say to our investors, wealth preservation. You know, it's a hedge against the rand, if nothing else. You don't even have to have property growth. You know, you benefit from the rand. You've got a peace of mind, and you've got a plan B. And that, if nothing else, you spoke about sleeping well at night, well, that's what I want for me and my family.
Well, to put it in perspective, the rand was 4 rand to the dollar in 1994 or 1996, I can't remember exactly, and it's now 8 rand to the dollar. Where it's going to be in the next 10 to 15 years, who knows, we don't have a crystal ball, but if we look at what history's done and where it could be going with the incentives for exports, you know, the rand is under pressure all the time, and in order to hedge your bets across and play on a global scale, you've got to look at first world assets and first world income and first world currencies.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. My remote's not